everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to get started with the Mosaic Tulip Tabletopper. I created a little sample pattern of about 19 rounds. This one that I made is only 14 of those rounds because I wanted to get to more or less a 10 centimeter square, not necessarily because I was gauge swatching, but just because. I just also found that stopping at round 14 gave me a nice sort of coaster size, and the pattern is quite pretty on its own. So this is in fact part of the center of the tabletopper. Right, so I used, for my sample, I used a yarn art begonia, which is a sport weight yarn. You can use sport weight, you can use fingering weight. The main design is made in a fingering weight yarn. That is yarn art Rose Garden paired with yarn art the yarn art unicolor flowers. Okay, this is yarn art begonia in the pink and the white. Right, for the purpose of this exercise though, I am using a double knit yarn. I just took some double knit out of my stash. And you need two colors, high contrast, and your color A is your light color, your color B is your darker color. We're going to get started immediately. You'll also need, oh sorry, my yarn is coming untangled or doing something strange. Okay, you're also going to need 4 stitch markers. You don't need your scissors necessarily because this is a center out work. So we don't cut the yarn at the end of every round. And I'm using a 4mm crochet hook for this double knit. For my actual samples, I use a 2.5mm. We're going to start with a magic circle or magic ring. And there are many tutorials on YouTube showing you exactly how to do the magic circle. So you just do it however you choose to, whichever is easier. Round 0 and round 1 are both worked in color B. I start with color B. Color A is the one that's going to form your picture. So your color B is actually your background color. I start with color B, like I said, round 0 and round 1. We only start changing color at round 2. So for round 0, it's the magic ring and 8 half double crochet into the ring. So I'm going to do 8 half double crochet. You'll also notice that I'm a left-handed crocheter. However, because this is in the round work, so that's 2, right-handed is no different. The only thing is that a right-handed crocheter will stitch in the opposite direction. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Once you've done your 8 half double crochet, you're going to close your ring, but don't pull it too tightly. You're going to remove the hook from the loop on the hook or from the work. This is how you're going to close every round with the invisible join. So you remove the hook, you insert it into the very first stitch, in this case the very first half double crochet, under both loops. You take the loop, the working loop, and you put it back onto the hook and you just pop it through that first stitch, and that then closes your round. Every round is worked in this, is ended or closed in the same way. Let's put it that way. Okay. And you're going to you can pull the circle tight now and just chain 1 to lock everything in place. Right. Round 1. I do my round 1 slightly differently. I found that when you do single crochet back loop only in your corner chain, to create your corners, on the first round. This only applies to the first round. I find that single crochet back loop only plus a chain one and another single crochet back loop only, or whatever you choose to stitch there, it creates a hole in the work at that spot. So you end up with 4 little holes going here because there's just so much going on in this little section. So instead of single crochet back loop only, I do for my corners only on round 1 only, I do a normal single crochet, so under both loops, a double crochet, and I insert a stitch marker into the double crochet because that is now, this is your corner, and this is all happening in the first stitch, and then another single crochet. So in this first little stitch there's a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet. Now your next instruction is to single crochet 1 back loop, a single crochet back loop only for 1. So it's this stitch here. Now you're back to a corner, which is a single crochet, double crochet, place a marker so that you know that this is a corner, single crochet, and then single crochet 1 back loop only. And now we're at the corner again, so remember it's single crochet under 2 loops, under both loops, double crochet into the same stitch, single crochet into the, oh sorry, I forgot to place my marker. Place the marker into the double crochet, and then do the other single crochet, and that completes your 3rd corner. Then single crochet back loop only, then last corner, single crochet into the same stitch is a double crochet, place the marker, and single crochet, and then single crochet back loop only, right, I'm just pulling my work tight. Now to close the round, we're again going to close with an invisible join. So it is not where this marker is, that's the double crochet. You're going to put the hook into the first single crochet underneath both loops and pull that little loop through, and that is round 1 complete. There we have round 1 with our 4 corners clearly defined and no holes in the work. Okay, now we're going to switch to color B, which is the white in my case, or the lighter color. Okay, when you add the new color, you quite simply take the yarn, place it around the hook and pull it through the loop on the hook. Pull that other color tight, just make sure you have a little bit of a tail there. It's very fiddly in the beginning, and we chain 1 to just lock everything in place. Right, round 2, you have in your corners, so now every single crochet that you do is single crochet back loop only, even in the corners. So round 2 is a single crochet back loop only, chain 1, single crochet back loop only for the corner, and then 3 single crochets along the edges. So your first stitch is not this stitch here. Your first stitch is this stitch here, the one where the stitch marker is. Okay, so you're going to insert the hook into the back loop of that stitch, and we're also going to, this is just a little trick so that our work is fairly neat at the back, is take your working yarn, the yellow, the darker color, just place it over the hook, and we're going to crochet over it. So complete your single crochet and then just drop the yellow again, or drop the darker color. So that's single crochet, chain one. I like to move my markers up so that I always know where my corners are, and then single crochet, back loop only again for that corner. So this little corner now has a single crochet, a chain, and a single crochet. Now it is 3 single crochets along the side, and that would be 1, 2, 3. So it's single crochet 1, 2, 3, and we're back to a corner, and that is single crochet, chain 1, move the marker up, single crochet, then 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, back to a corner, and it is single crochet, chain 1, move the marker up, single crochet, then 3 single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, oops, back to a corner, and in the corner we have single crochet, chain 1, move the marker up, single crochet, and then 3 single crochets. So there's 1, 2. Now the third one, because we're at the end of the round, the third single crochet back loop is actually here. It's sitting in front of that invisible join that we did earlier. So it's this stitch here. Alright, so it's single crochet, and we remove the hook to close with an invisible join, and again it is not this stitch here, it is in fact this stitch over here, where you insert the hook, pop that loop back on and pull it through, and that is round 2 complete. Now for round 3, because we did that little trick earlier where we stitched over the darker color, this yarn is now exactly where it should be, so there won't be any ugly lines at the back of your work. So just pull the lighter color tight, pull it through, and chain 1 to lock everything in place. We're now on round, oh, I'm stitching with the tail, sorry, that does happen, that definitely does happen. Let's just fix this quickly. Okay, let's just, okay, don't stitch with the tail. Okay, pull everything tight with the working yarn. Pull the working yarn through, pull everything tight, lock it in place, and we're now on round 3. Okay, round 3 once again is for the corners, it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in the back loop, and then it's a, on the side it's a double crochet, single crochet combination, until we get to the next corner. Right, so it is, once again, it's not, this stitch here is not your first stitch, this is your first stitch. So it's single crochet, and we're going to bring the white up to where it should be by stitching over it, drop it back down, chain one, and single crochet. So again, in this corner now we have a single crochet, a chain one, and a single crochet. The next instruction is a double crochet. Right, when a double crochet occurs immediately after a corner combination stitch, so whether it's single crochets and a chain one and a single crochet, or double crochet, chain one and a double crochet, when the very next stitch is a double crochet, it gets stitched in. Now remember, this is mosaic crochet, which means the double crochets in this color must be stitched into the same color 2 rounds below. So this double crochet that we're going to do now is going to go into this loop over here. It is the corner of the round 2 rounds below. It looks like it's part of this corner, which technically actually it is, but it's 2 rounds below, and this first double crochet is going to be using this little loop over here. So it's a double crochet, then a single crochet, and again a double crochet, single crochet, and then the last stitch is a double crochet. And once again, now we're getting to this little loop. This loop lies at an angle. You'll see it's completely different to these ones here. It sits at an angle because it's actually part of the corner of that round 2 rounds below. So it's a double crochet. Oops. Now we're back at the corner, which is a single crochet, chain one, move the marker up, single crochet. Right, next stitch is a double crochet, so we're going to use this loop again. So in other words, the first stitch on the side was a double crochet, so we used this little loop. The last stitch on the same side was a double crochet. The first stitch on the next side is also double crochet, which means we're using the same loop. You'll see now what I mean. It's double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet is the last stitch. And so let me just show you what happened here. This was your first side. You started here. It's your corner, single crochet, chain one, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double, single, double, which used this little loop here. Then you got to a corner, single, one chain, single. Then this double crochet used the same loop as this last double crochet from the previous side, which means it now forms this nice little join over here. Okay, now we're back to a corner, so it's single crochet, chain one, move the marker up, single crochet, then double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, oops, and a double crochet, back to a corner, so it's a single crochet, chain one, move the marker up, single crochet, double crochet using the same loop as the last double crochet, then single crochet, double crochet, and single crochet, okay. Now the last double crochet is going to use the same loop as the very first double crochet. And we remove the hook from the work in order to close with the invisible join. So again, it's not this stitch here that you pull through, it's this one. Pop the loop back on and pull it right through. And that is round 3 complete. Now, as you can see, your first double crochet and your last double crochet on each side, because they're using the first loop, because they're using the same loop, they form a little join right there, and it defines the corner quite nicely. Right, round 4. So we're back to the lighter color. Pull everything tight. Chain 1 and lock everything in place. Okay, round 4, this corner is different. This is a double crochet chain corner. In other words, you're going to do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Right, because we're doing a double crochet to begin with in the corner, we can't pull this up to bring it up to where it needs to be. It just does not work. So you're going to do a double crochet, and because this is the lighter color, your loop that you're going to stitch into is actually the front loop of that chain 2 rounds below, which is a bit hidden because it's inside here. You will see in each corner it's a little bit hidden inside there, and it can sometimes be a bit tight. So it's double crochet, chain 1, move the marker up, and a double crochet. That is your corner complete. Your next stitch is another double crochet, and same rule applies. When the double crochet comes immediately after a corner, it is stitched into the same space, or this loop right here where the corner stitch is. So it's a double crochet, single crochet, double crochet again, single crochet, double crochet again, single crochet, and the last stitch is a double crochet which goes into the stitch over here, which is part of this corner, but it's not the corner double crochet, and you'll see now in a moment. It is simply the last double crochet of the side. Now we're doing the corner. The corner is a double crochet using the same loop, a chain 1, move the marker up, and a double crochet. And the first stitch is a double crochet, the first stitch for the side, single crochet, double crochet. I just want to pause here to show you what that corner now looks like, because now this is a full corner. You'll see that that little loop now holds 4 double crochets, 2 over here, a chain 1, and 2 over here. So this double crochet here was the last double crochet for this side. This double crochet over here forms part of this corner, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then this double crochet over here is the first stitch of this side. Single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, last stitch of this side, and now a corner which is in the same loop as the last stitch, double crochet, chain one, move the marker up, double crochet, that's the corner done, and now the first stitch of this side is a double crochet using the same loop, chain one, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double, single, and now we're working the last stitch of that side, which is a double crochet, and now the corner is in the same loop, a double crochet, single crochet, chain one, and sorry, I'm confusing myself. Double crochet was the last stitch, the corner is double crochet, chain one, double crochet, and then a double crochet is the first stitch of this side, single crochet, double crochet, single, double. Sometimes working into these front loops two below can be a bit tricky because they're tight, and then a single crochet. Now remember, your last stitch is a double crochet, which means you now have to use this loop, which is the loop where you started, so that this corner also has 4 double crochets and a chain one in it. So double crochet, okay, remove the hook from the work, and we're going to now insert the hook not into the chain one but into the first double crochet under both loops, pull that loop through to close the round, and that would be round 4 complete. Right, so round 5 we're going to be working with the darker color. So just going to bring that in, pull the lighter color tight, chain one to lock everything in place. And round 5 is a single crochet, chain one, single crochet corner, and it is in the stitch here, single crochet, oh, sorry, I forgot to bring the lighter color up, so I'm just going to pop it over, stitch over it, drop it back down, chain one, move the marker, single crochet. Okay, that's your corner done. Now 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, a double crochet, 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, then your next corner, which is single crochet, chain one, and a single crochet. So that's your first side of round 5 done, and your second corner is done. You're going to continue around, and I'm going to meet you back here. Right, Right, we're back to the end of round 5. I've done 2 single crochets and we have to do 4, so number 3. Number 4 is, once again, like I showed you before, it's this loop here. It's this little stitch here, and it's the back loop of that stitch that you work into. So that's number 4, and then you remove the hook from the work, and you close with the invisible join. So not here, not this chain, that stitch over here, which is the first single crochet, and just pull it through. And now we're on to round 6. Round 6 is once again a single crochet, chain 1 single crochet corner. So I'm just going to pull all of this tight, chain 1 to lock it in place, and your first stitch is here, and oops, so we can bring this yarn up, do a single crochet, chain 1, move the stitch marker up, and then single crochet. That's your first corner done for round 6. Now it is 5 double crochets. So remember, we once again have a double crochet immediately after a corner, which means you've got to use this loop here is your first stitch that you work into. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you have a single crochet and 5 more double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5 is going to go into the loop here, which is this loop is at a little angle across that corner from 2 rounds below. Number 5. Now we're back to a corner, so it's single crochet, chain 1, move your marker up, and single crochet. So that's your first side of round 6 complete. So it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the corner, then 5 double crochets, of which the first one is in that little loop that sits at an angle from 2 rounds below. Your 5 double crochets, single crochet, and 5 double crochets, with your last double crochet on the side being in the loop that sits here from the corner of 2 rounds below. So that's your first side of round 6. You're going to continue working around, and I will meet you back at the end. Right, we are at the end of round 6. I've done 4 of the double crochets. I've got to do the last one. So that last one, once again, it goes into the same loop as the very first double crochet when we started off. So it's this loop over here. That's double crochet number 5. Remove the hook from the work and close the round with an invisible join. Pull it all tight. Now round 7. Round 7 is a double crochet corner. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And if you recall from earlier, when we did it on round, I think it was round 4. It is a, I'll just lock everything in place here. We don't bring up the other yarn to keep it in place, because like I said earlier, it doesn't work. So we're going to double crochet into this stitch over here. There it is. Okay, so it's double crochet. Can be quite tight in there, especially the first one. The others seem to be fine. Chain 1, move the marker up always, and then double crochet, and that's your first corner complete. Your next stitch is a double crochet, which means you're going to use the same loop for that double crochet. So it's double crochet, then 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another double crochet, 5 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now a double crochet, and which is the last stitch of this side, and it is in the stitch over here. Right, so that is your first side of round 7 complete. You've got your corner stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, then your first double crochet, which uses the same loop as these corner double crochets, 5 single crochets, a double crochet, 5 single crochets, and the last stitch is a double crochet into this corner loop here, even though this is not a corner stitch yet. This is the last double crochet of the side. We're now going to do the corner stitch using that same loop. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, move the marker up, and a double crochet. Now the first stitch of the side is a double crochet, so we use the same loop, and then 5 single crochets, and I'm just going to stop to show you what that full corner now looks like. And once again, this little loop here is holding 2 double crochets and a corner stitch. So it's the double crochet from the end of the first side, the next corner, which is the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then the first double crochet of this side, which is there. So it's 4 double crochets and a corner stitch that is being held by this little loop. You're going to continue in the same way right around, and I will meet you back at the end over there. Right, we're at the end of round 7, and I have to do the last double crochet, which is into the same loop as the very first double crochet. So let's yarn over. Oops. Okay, and then you remove the hook from the work, and into under the loops of the first double crochet, pull this through. Okay, there we go, and that is round 7 complete. Right, so those are the first 7 rounds of the design. Like I said, this is the pattern for the sample piece, which goes to round 19. Just a note about that. if you plan to do the full design, then don't do the sample and get to round 19 and then decide to do the full design, because rounds 17, 18 and 19 on the sample are different to rounds 17, 18 and 19 on the larger design. If you're going to do the larger design, then follow it from the beginning. Rather do that than to change your mind at this stage when you get to round 17. I gave you 19 rounds to do, so that for the sample, so that you could get used to stitching center out, so that you could get started, get a taste for it. And also, if you were planning to do the full design, you could also use this as a gauge swatch. I ended up going to round 14 on this one, on my sample, which gave me, like I said, a nice sort of coaster size. I got to my 10 centimeters. This has been blocked, probably not 100% properly blocked, but this has been blocked, so it's just ever so slightly more than 10 centimeters. But I got around 14 and got 10 centimeters. So right, you can give it a go. See if you like mosaic crocheting around. I'm sure you're going to. I must admit, this was my first real attempt at mosaic crochet in the round. Not only just designing in it, but also actually doing a project in it. I'd never done it before. So it is quite easy to do. It's quite addictive once you get used to it, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Right, so feel free to DM me if you have any problems, or join my Facebook group for some pattern support. And yeah, you'll find all the links in the description below. Thank you for supporting my crochet designing, and I will hopefully get to see some of your beautiful work in the various Facebook groups. Cheers.